You weren't performing. You weren't pretending. You were just being yourself. And somehow it still felt fake. Like you were watching yourself from a distance. Like the words coming out of your mouth belonged to someone you almost recognize. And the scariest part? You can't explain it to anyone. Because how do you feel like a fraud during the moments you're being most honest? That question has an answer. It shows up in ordinary moments. You're laughing with people you genuinely like and something inside whispers, "This doesn't feel real." You share an opinion you actually believe, and the moment it leaves your mouth, you're already doubting whether it's truly yours. You have a good day. A real one. And at the end of it, you feel like you were playing a character of someone having a good day. This isn't shyness. It's something quieter and more disorienting. It's the feeling that no version of you ever quite fits inside your own skin. And so the dangerous questions start. Who am I actually? Is there even a real me underneath all of this? These questions don't just create confusion. They quietly reshape how you move through the world. You over-monitor yourself in real time. You replay conversations not to cringe at mistakes but to check whether the person in that memory was actually you. Here's what psychology tells us, and it's not what most people expect. Feeling fake during authentic moments is not a sign that you have no real self. It's a sign that your self learned to survive by becoming highly adaptable. Psychologists describe something called identity diffusion, a state where a stable, integrated sense of self hasn't fully formed yet. Almost always, it traces back to environments where being fully yourself carried a cost. Where certain parts of you were safe to show and certain parts were not. So you adapted. You became fluid. Contextually sensitive. The feeling of fakeness isn't evidence that you're a fraud. It's the echo of a self that learned to stay just slightly hidden even from itself. Here's what's actually happening inside. The brain builds identity through narrative self-continuity, an ongoing story connecting who you were to who you are now. When that narrative is stable, your actions feel like yours. Your voice in a conversation feels like yours. But when different environments demanded different versions of you, the brain never built one clear thread. Think of it like a radio signal. A stable identity is one clear frequency. Consistent. Recognizable. But if you grew up constantly switching channels, quieter here, more agreeable there, the brain develops many weak signals instead of one strong one. When you try to simply be yourself, the system doesn't know which frequency to land on. So it transmits all of them at once. That static is what you're calling fakeness. Underscore 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 underscore. 3 things that actually help. First, stop searching. Start collecting. The self isn't buried underneath somewhere. It's built through narrative. Psychologist Dan McAdams showed that identity forms through the stories we construct about ourselves, not through sudden self-discovery. So write down moments, even small ones, when you felt most like yourself. A reaction you didn't plan. A decision that felt right without explanation. You're not finding yourself. You're building evidence of yourself. Second, name the observer. The fakeness feeling almost always comes with intense self-monitoring, watching yourself while you're doing something instead of simply doing it. When you catch yourself watching yourself, say internally, "There's the observer." Just name it. Naming activates the prefrontal cortex and creates a small pause enough to return to the present moment. Third, choose one consistent thing. Identity stabilizes through behavioral consistency, not insight alone. Pick one value. One small behavior that reflects it. How you treat people when no one is watching. What you return to when you have complete freedom. Do it repeatedly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Over time, the brain has something real to point to. A signal. A thread. And the static begins slowly to quiet. You are not empty underneath the performance. You are someone whose signal got scattered early by environments that asked you to be many things before you knew who you were. The fakeness you feel is not proof that you don't exist. It's proof that you've been surviving. The signal is still there. Faint, maybe. But it's yours. And every time you choose even once to let it come through clearly, you become a little more real to the only person whose recognition actually matters. Yourself. Underscore 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 underscore